I want to be a little bit redundant about the way we practice spiritual healing here for a moment. Dr. Jensen, come over here and a little closer also, because Dr. Jensen has been associate minister with me for about 3 years now, associate evangelist in particular. And he has seen this kind of prayer bring instantaneous demonstrations of healing to a number of people in different parts of the country. Do you remember that day at the Hollywood Palladium when those ladies began to get out of the wheelchair, Dr. Jensen?
Right.
Do you remember what it was that I told them?
Well, you told them that God in me walks. And all of a sudden, before the service even began, there they were out of the wheelchair, walking right across the front of the auditorium.
That was an exciting day. And, you know, these are moments that I don't forget. This was before the service. You see, those of you who are looking in on television and you're coming to my services, it's always good for you to get to my services before they even start, because people get blessed. People get helped. People find the joy of living even before the services begin. I walked down the aisles at the Hollywood Palladium that day, and the first lady was sitting in a wheelchair, and as I passed by, she started telling me her troubles. She said, "Reverend Ike, I've got this, I've got that, I can't walk." So I simply looked at her and I said to her, "God walks in you." But she kept grumbling, "Reverend Ike, I'm so sick. My legs have got arthritis. And I've been sick for a long time." And me, I looked straight at her and I said to her, I said, "Shut up!" She looked shocked and excited. She'd never had a preacher talk to her like that, you know? But that's what I said to her. I said, "Shut up!" When she shut up and stopped voicing her negative expressions, I said to her, "What did I say to you?" She said, "You said God walks in me." I said, "That's what I said." And I strutted on off and went to the back of the auditorium. And about the time I got to the back of the auditorium, I saw her up walking and people around her dancing and rejoicing. This is the way we practice spiritual healing in this ministry, and I don't think even the most sophisticated should have any objections to that. By teaching people about the presence, the power of God within. I walked on around that auditorium at the Hollywood Palladium, and when I got to the other side, there was another lady sitting in the wheelchair, and I see why she was sitting in the wheelchair. When I looked at her and saw how heavy she was, her legs had simply said, "No way, baby." I quit. I will not carry all of this around any further. So she sat there also and she began to tell me her troubles. You see, that's another thing. I don't permit people to voice all of these negative things about themselves. Like the lady out there in the wheelchair today who began to tell, "Reverend Ike, I got a bad leg." I said, "Up!" When you do that, you're cursing yourself. I said, "Praise that leg. Say good things about that leg." So this great big fat child sat there saying, "Reverend Ike, I can't walk. I have so many problems and troubles." I simply turned and looked at her over my shoulder and said to her, "God walks in you." And when I said that, why, God just got up and stood up in her and began to walk. And that lady, she must have weighed at least 350. She got up and began to dance. Yes, she did. That's how we practice healing in this ministry, by making you aware of what God is in you and what you are in God. How many of you desire to have health continually, to be healthy and whole in your soul, mind, and body? All right, here is how it's done. If you want to be healthy, have a healthy belief about yourself. And a healthy belief about yourself will heal you and keep you healthy. For example, this is why I told the lady this afternoon who said to me, Reverend Ike, I have this bad leg. I said to her, stop saying that. If you're having a problem with some organ or some part of your body, don't keep cursing that part of your body by saying, oh, this sick leg. The Bible says again, you are ensnared by the words of your mouth. By your words you are justified, by your words you are condemned. If there is some organ or some limb or some part of your body which you're having problems with, stop feeding that part of your body sick thoughts. The more you say, oh, this sick leg, the sicker it'll get. And here again, I've seen some wonderful healings when I've told invalids, God walks in you. What does that do? That gives the person who has been suffering an image of himself as being healthy. That person begins to visualize God walking in him. And he makes contact with the power, the presence of God within him, and begins to walk. I challenge you who look in on television. I challenge those of you who are here, who are having physical problems with your physical body. Start thinking this thought: God in me is my health. That thought will bring about your healing. Not only will it bring about your healing, you do not have to be sick to pray this prayer. This will keep you well. God in me is my health. It will keep you strong. It will keep you young. So once again, let all of us point to ourselves and give ourselves this healing treatment. And while we're getting ready to do this, I want to point out also one of the differences in this philosophy is that we teach each person to heal himself, to bless himself, and even to save himself. I did not come here to heal you. I've come here to teach you how to heal yourself. And one moment again, you know, the first sermon that was ever preached in the Christian church on the day of Pentecost, the Apostle Peter said to the people, save yourselves. Save yourselves from this untoward generation. So now let's give ourselves this healing treatment. This is how you heal yourself. This is how you keep yourself healthy, by realizing God in me is my health right now. Together, God in me is my health right now. Take that realization with you. Eat it and drink it as you go. Eat it and drink it in your mind. Nourish your mind with the thought, God in me is my health. Drink the wine of the sensation of this realization. Get drunk on the idea, if you please. Be intoxicated on the idea, if you please, that God in me is my health. And here again, this is the meaning of the bread and the wine. The bread represents the inner nourishment of your mind. Nourish your mind with the thought, God in me is my health. The wine represents the sensation, the feeling of the fulfilled desire. Drink the feeling. Become intoxicated with the feeling, with the conviction, God in me is my health right now. This realization will heal you. It will keep you well, and it will keep you young.